Can I just start by acknowledging that in addition to this being Financial Literacy Month, today is Women's Entrepreneurship Day in Canada. So
Oh,
yay to all of you lovely ladies on this call for
yeah.
Yeah, thank
sure.
you.
That's
I'm
awesome
an
to
I'm actually,
entrepreneur.
hear.
yes,
I
yes.
didn't know they had a day to acknowledge, that
Us?
super difficult and daunting, overwhelming thing that for some reason we all have decided to take on.
Right?
Don't know
I
why,
often
but here
say
we are.
we chose this. We chose this for sure. I'm actually in Halifax at a Women's Day, or not a Women's Entrepreneurship event. So I just popped out of that, and I'm actually in a really swanky closet in a hotel right now. So this is as
Nice.
live and real as it gets, folks. It's the only place they could find to put me. But anyway, so I guess we'll get started. Thank you for your patience as I was struggling to join you, lovely folks. Um, Welcome to those that are joining us live on Instagram today as we kick off this great conversation during Financial Literacy Month around, the importance of building financial resilience, for our clients and helping them achieve that goal. It is, as I said, Financial Literacy Month, and Advocis has done a lot of work around making sure that financial advice is accessible for all. So if you haven't checked it out, please do go to their Financial Advice for All website after you've listened to these folks today and check out some of the great resources that are there. So my name is Jackie McCann Scott. I am a financial planner like the folks on the call today, and I'd like to take a moment just to introduce them briefly. So we have, just wave so that, because I don't know if you're on my left or my right, but first we have Lauren Jeffrey. So Lauren, acknowledge yourself. There you go. And Lauren is a financial advisor with 25 plus years. No, she used to be. You had 25 plus years in wealth? No? Okay. Well, I know you own Point Shift and that you work with financial
Yes.
advisors around helping them unlock for clients, I guess, the money mindset barriers that they may have and help them understand how people view money. Did I get that last part right at least?
Ish.
Ish?
I
Okay.
run a practice management company helping financial advisors work within the emotional intersection between them and their clients. Specifically focus on the KYC and financial literacy and a bunch of other things. I'm also a registered psychotherapist and have a small practice here in Toronto.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
Mhm.
you know what you just did? You told me that you guys do a better job of introducing yourselves than I could ever do. So I'm going to ask Suzette to take a moment to do as great a job as Lauren just did introducing yourself. Suzette?
Hello, everyone. My name is Suzette Chambers, and I have my own financial services practice, which is I've just rebranded from Sue Chambers Financial to Empowered Financial because I believe in empowering women and individuals into understanding your finances and being more financially conscious. So that is what I do. I am not a feminist, but I do advocate for women, especially in the finance space, because I think women need to be financially independent. And that is what I build my practice on, and that is what I believe personally. And I've been in business now for over 6 years. I was with Sun Life for a number of years, and then I decided to be my own boss. And
Love
here I
it. Love it.
am, yeah. So I'm an
That's
entrepreneur.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Happy day to you, Suzette. Happy day.
Thank you.
And certainly last but not least, we have Tara. Tara, would you like to tell folks a little bit about yourself before
Yeah,
we start having our
absolutely.
conversation?
Yeah, for sure. So I am Tara as well. I also have decided to take on this crazy journey of doing things your own way and being your own boss, although not by myself, with my partner. With myself and my partner, we run Skyward Financial, which is also a financial services company. We advise, take on clients, help with investments, all of that fun stuff, but with a very particular focus on financial literacy and education. So with anybody that comes our way, we take them through these financial education courses that are, an hour long each, and we sit them through and make sure that they know the basics so that they don't have to take our word for it. they feel empowered and confident, and trying to get rid of that feeling of being overwhelmed by the world of finance, and making it a little bit more simple and comfortable. So,
It
yeah.
is definitely its own language for sure. And, I think that it's great to see advisors like yourself that are doing things so that financial literacy is not just a month that we celebrate. It's, an entire mission that we are all on for sure. So, Tara, I'm going to start with you since you were the last one who got to introduce yourself. We've got some questions here that we want to get your feedback on. And first question is, what do you feel are some common misconceptions that people have around debt and what you see that works when it comes to managing debt?
I would say the first misconception has been honestly that all debt is to be avoided and that it's bad. We do like to teach the fact that depending on the type of debt that you're taking on, often it might be a great idea. For example, taking on student debt. It is a debt that you are taking on in order to actually make an investment in your own human capital, and so the returns from that are potentially much, much higher than the amount of or the cost of taking that debt on. But that is definitely something that I think is a misconception, is that debt is only bad when you are purchasing an asset that's going to be depreciating over time. But if it is likely to not depreciate and actually appreciate, then it's okay. And learning how to handle debt is a very, very important thing, because often it can't just be avoided in its entirety. So we do need to learn how to manage it.
Okay. I love that answer. I mean, there's, I often talk about, the work we do around helping our clients become more financially confident, literate, empowered, all the words that you folks have been using on this call. But it comes down really to knowing, your overall financial health. And we talk about cholesterol when we talk about, physical health, and there's good and bad cholesterol. So why shouldn't there be good and bad debt when we're talking about financial wellness?
That's a great point. I'm going to use
There
that.
you go. Oh, there you go. So feel free, steal away, steal away. Suzette, just moving down to you for a second. What I found in my own practice is that lots of times people take on debt because they haven't planned for life's inevitable, emergencies and things that can come up. So I'd like to ask you, what strategies do you use with your clients, or can other people use to build an emergency fund if they find themselves living paycheck to paycheck?
I think what you could do is to start small, start somewhere. And it doesn't matter how small it is, it has to be realistic, right? So even if you can put away $50 per pay, $20 per pay, it all adds up. So I think what someone I would recommend is just start small, achieve, 1 month at a time, and be disciplined. And maybe instead of opening, because I know sometimes you open a bank account within your bank account, so you'll have a checking and a savings, and you log in, what do you see? You see both. So it's very tempting. Oh, I have this extra money for you to start withdrawing because maybe something happened or you want to do something. But I would say start small, make the goal realistic and achievable, and set some goals for yourself and set it and forget it. Automate those savings, have it coming out every 2 weeks, bi-weekly if that's how you get paid, or once a month. Automate it, separate it from your regular everyday account, and be disciplined.
Absolutely.
Can I add on to that?
I would love you to, Lauren.
Yeah, so as the mental health professional in the group, so I firmly and wholeheartedly support what you are saying. But sometimes, especially when our clients are living paycheck to paycheck, they don't necessarily see the money, because we live in a largely cashless environment now. So they don't actually comprehend like the implications of the Starbucks in the morning, right? Or that treat because they got through the afternoon. A lot of times when we're creating budgets and trying to help people manage money, especially when it's a very finite resource, we really need to challenge our clients in terms of what they value, what they deem necessary, because some clients will fight you to the mat and to the death for their Starbucks coffee in the morning. But their Spotify account or their Amazon Prime, the gym membership, like there's all sorts of these little places that we don't necessarily think about. And
Right.
as financial advisors, and how I empower and say to my financial advisors, ask the questions differently, right? And so when you're going through and you're educating them on how to create a budget, right? Ask them about where their money goes, right? And
Mm-hmm.
how they're spending it.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to caution you that I know that 92% of my clients lie to me during sessions. So your clients also probably aren't telling you exactly where all the money is going,
True.
right?
That's
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely
Absolutely.
true.
100%.
y-
They're not
you
all
know,
clients are forthcoming. And then all of a sudden, oh, I forgot this, or I forgot that. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But
so
this is
it,
where the discipline comes in too. What can you be disciplined about? Okay, you can't get rid, you don't have discipline enough to say, okay, I'm not going to get that Starbucks coffee on the way home or that Tim Hortons, but maybe there's something
mhm.
else, right?
Change your vernacular. Instead of using the word discipline, it's accountability,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you need your clients to be accountable to themselves, because really they're the only ones that have the control over their future outcomes. You are here to navigate and help them through this journey to get to
Right.
wherever it is they want to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we use empowering language like accountability as opposed to discipline, because
Yeah,
discipline can
yeah,
also sound judgy, right? Like
Right.
it's
yes,
very big.
yes,
Anyway, I
yes.
don't
It's
want to go down
also,
this rabbit hole, but
yeah, no,
It's true.
it's a good one
It's
to go
true.
down because I think that is the basis, of everything we're talking about here is clarity, but
mhm,
it's also reframing. You mentioned reframing, and for the same reason that you might have had a reaction then, Lauren, to the word discipline, even though I know Suzette, you're saying it with love
best
and kindness to
of
our clients
intentions.
and no judgment whatsoever. I hate the word budget. Budget does that to me.
Yeah, I
So
don't like the word budget either. I like
budget,
plan.
right? Well,
Yeah.
budget to me is about what is being imposed upon you. It's also like very
Limiting.
much what's already happened. There's a scarcity to it. We like to
Yeah.
talk about in our practice cash flow planning, and it's about identifying what is most important to you and the decisions you're going to make around what you're going to do with your money. So instead of feeling like something is happening to me and you're a victim, I'm an active participant in the decisions that I make. So it's not about what I'm giving up. And I say to my clients, if your Starbucks is your one of your fixed expenses, it's non-negotiable, let's put it into the plan. It's just about what else are we not going to do because that's a priority. I'm not saying that that's not a good priority. It is what it is. I love my coffee. But just being acknowledging that you're making actively choices with your cash flow that can have an impact on other choices that you may have identified, not lying, but what you may have identified, in our discovery call, and the two may not be able to coexist right now. So, what's more important, right? And it comes down to what's more important, not what's happening. So, great conversation. Great. I love clarity. Cash flow clarity is my favorite thing, and someone much smarter than me once said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So that's what we're getting to here, right? Let's just reframe how people look at
I'm
things.
leaving with some gems today too.
It's great. It's so good. So not to put you on the hot seat again, Lauren, because I know you
Mhm.
just weighed in on that last question too, but because you do have such a background in mental health and in psychology, I did want to talk to you about what are some of the things that you say to clients or tell your advisors, I guess, to tell their clients when they are feeling overwhelmed. Because of course we see that flight or fight, but we also see freeze. And when people are overwhelmed, I see that a lot. So what are some tools and techniques you give advisors to help people that are feeling overwhelmed by even getting started, whether it be on an emergency savings or that cash flow clarity or managing debt or any of the above?
That's a great question. Uh, the simplest and easiest thing that you can do for your clients is give them space to think. So you're in a call, you know, your clients appear overwhelmed. First of all, acknowledge it. Hey, Tara, you're looking a little overwhelmed, or am I reading something into this? Acknowledge how they're feeling, right? Because your client's going to feel very alone because oftentimes your clients don't feel like you're part of their team. You're the person that dictates how their money is invested, right? So they're already losing, or there's already that sense of loss of control, right? So when we acknowledge things and reframe and put things back in our client's court, we therefore inherently give them a greater sense of control. And we are valuing what they have to say and what they bring. So the other part of it is so acknowledging how they're feeling, and then ask them what it is that they need from you to make a decision. It
Love
might
that.
be time, it might be information, it also might be time and information, or something you couldn't have possibly thought. So you always frame the question as, how can I help you? Period. And then just let your clients talk. Silence isn't your enemy. It's an incredibly powerful tool that we use, because today is all about responding to something. And as advisors, you don't need to respond. You just need to listen, because then you're going to take your financial experience and that part of your brain that creates the plan, picks the product, all that financial stuff, you're going to have a better base to lay that over and make your judgment, your professional judgments.
I
Sit back
love that.
and listen.
I love
Yeah,
that. Like,
listening is key.
just listening to you talk has calmed the whole vibe of this call down,
Oh,
has it
yeah.
not? Is anyone else feeling that?
We were
That energy that you're
listening.
bringing right
Yes,
now,
we
Lauren?
were
You're like,
listening.
just a deep breath there and just sit with that for a minute. So listen, acknowledge, and create space. Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
I
I
also want to,
absolutely love that.
I'd like to add, Lauren, I just think the work that you do is so important because the world and industry of finance is very much a very daunting and an intimidating thing for most folks, and often people feel this embarrassment burden about how much they already know or don't know about how investments work and how money works. They already feel embarrassed about that. They might feel embarrassed about their level of wealth or their level of savings, and they may feel judged or may have felt judged in the past. And I think above just, you know, helping plan investments and helping clients make financial decisions, that's, I think, a smaller part of the job. Most of it is to create an environment of comfort and safety, and to let clients know that there's somebody in your corner. You don't have to go through things alone, and nobody's here to judge you. And even things like I wanted to add earlier, if that cup of coffee every morning is something that is really important to the client, it really makes them happy. It's a part of their day, and that's how they start their day, or whatever it may be. I think we should consider that a want. A need, sorry, not a want. It's something to actually incorporate into the plan if it is an essential part of their well-being. Of course, you have to think in terms of, is there space for that financially speaking? But it's important to acknowledge the emotional side of money, and I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And sometimes
But
people
it's about
think,
perspective too.
yeah, sometimes people think, like I had a lady recently who she's in her early 30s, but for her, she feels like she's behind everybody else. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to, again, and I think this is where human behavior comes in, you know, giving her that reassurance to say, hey, you're right where you're supposed to be. You may think you're behind other people, but you being here booking this meeting means that you recognized that something needs to be done, and you're taking action. And I think that's where, and back to what you said, Lauren, listening. And if you listen, you understand what these people need, right? And you try to provide that support, because a lot of the times we're also, I find myself in positions where I become a psychotherapist. And I'm like an unlicensed one, where I'm trying to, reassure clients that, hey, it can be done. You can start, you can take the action, and being here, having this discussion is part of you taking action and accountability for where you are and where you want to see yourself in the future financially.
Suzette, you raise a good point though about this feeling of FOMO, or I'm behind, and all the emotions that go along with that sense of I need to do better, I need to do more, I need to be faster, quicker, better. And I personally think a lot of that comes from the social media world that we live in, where everybody's putting their highlight
100%.
reels out there for the world to digest all the time. No one sees the behind the scenes. But like me in a closet here today. But I just want to circle back on, and kind of tie this into a question, Suzette, and this one's for you. So when we think about this world we live in, this bigger, quicker, faster, more information overload, how can you help individuals ensure that they're getting accurate, unbiased financial information when they go online?
The best
And I
thing
throw
to
that
do
out
is,
to all of you, for
yeah,
sure. But Suzette, yeah.
I always say to my clients, I'll tell you, I'm always like, I build my online presence. I would say 85, maybe even 90% of my clients are online. And I get the videos, the TikTok videos, I get the Instagram reels saying, hey, can I get this? Is this available to us? And what I always say to them, thank you for reaching out and asking that questions, because I can verify that for you. I can confirm whether this product or this strategy is available here in Canada, because a lot of the times the content that they're getting is incorrect. And it's just it's like clickbait, right? It's a lot of clickbait, a lot of sensationalized headline, so I always, this is where the education part comes in. Hey, I can educate you on that. I have the correct information. And if you're unsure, reach out to a licensed professional who can find those answers for you. But I would never take a TikTok video. And believe me, I know influencers, I know a lot of influencers. And I can tell you some of them provide great content that are facts, and some of them don't. So you have to really do your own research. And remember, a lot of the financial content we're getting is coming from the US,
Right.
so you need to make sure that, hey, it does relate to us. They'll talk about IR9s and 401ks. You have to understand the difference, right? There are some similarities, but I always say contact a licensed professional. If you don't have one, go on to Advocis, and you can find one through Advocis as well. So that is where I educate my clients on how to, filter through the content online.
Yeah. So Advocis is definitely a great resource to find, licensed, credible, educated advisors that you can work with. Tara, are there any other? And I mean, I'm setting you up here now to put your own plug in, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. What are other recommended resources or tools that you would suggest for people looking to improve their financial literacy?
Well, I think one really good resource Advocates has is the Financial Advice for All webpage that has lots of really good resources on there. So the FAFA website, I would definitely recommend folks go check that out. And I think, it's a part of our job to educate. And so no matter which professional it is that you reach out to and how you find them, sometimes it's just word of mouth, sometimes it's somebody your friend knows. But most financial professionals are going to be able to offer you that a part of that literacy and that education. How formally they do that is going to be up to them, but I'm sure everybody's going to provide that. And so at Skyward, we do the same thing with our education sessions, but that is not the only resource. There are plenty of other um, knowledgeable professionals out there who are happy to be able to give you those tools to learn the ropes, and that way you feel like you're in more control and it's not just somebody telling you what you should be doing and then you feel smaller, but actually you have those tools. You can see the reasoning behind why a particular recommendation is made or why this strategy will work best for you because you know how it works as well. So I guess
Mhm.
ultimately that's why we're all here today as well, and Financial Literacy Month. It's because um, that's what we're all striving to push forward a little bit.
Yeah,
One of the things,
absolutely. Lauren, oh,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
I need to chime in here. So when
Yeah.
we talk about financial literacy resources, it's not just about like doing the course and understanding how the fund works. It's really understanding why and how you make the decisions regarding money.
Yeah.
And that is really where a lot of learning and understanding has to occur because we live in a very digital, very binary, yes, no, tick box, fit you into a group, a category, whatever. We've lost the nuances of really understanding what that means to us. But it affects how we make these big financial decisions. So upbringing, were you brought up by a single parent that had no money and told you no all the time? You know, were you forced into a career that you didn't want and so you blew it up? There's all sorts of different things that we have to look at when we talk about educating our clients. It's about the stories we heard as kids, the lessons we learned from our parents, from our neighbors, from our schools. It's all of those things.
That's a really
Absolutely.
good
That's where they
point.
need to see it. And that is where, when a client have that type of issue, where they don't have a good relationship with money and they struggle with money, and this is where I always say, okay, you know what? Uh, you don't need an advisor. Yeah, you do, but I think you more need a therapist. So what I also suggest is that advisors, and if there's any advisors here, I also suggest that you have a therapist that you can refer your clients to deal with those emotional baggage that they're carrying. And I think it's extremely important
Listen,
for advisors to work with therapists that they
couldn't
can
agree
refer
more.
clients to. Especially in 2024, where everybody I think needs therapy.
Listen,
It's
It's a
important.
hard, it's yeah, there's a lot coming at us. And I think it's fascinating when I sit here with the three of you and think about the different approaches in the world of financial planning that we all bring to the table. So this is not our parents' financial planning world anymore. The days where we don't talk about these things for fear of judgment are out the window. It's not about a lack
we
of
can't
access to
we
resources.
can't afford to not talk about it. We
Right. It's
literally
not about,
can't afford it.
no, absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, Lauren. And I think, the fact that there are folks like yourself building businesses that, have a very clear mission of helping people navigate not so much the, logistics of rates of return and, credit scores and insurance policies, but as important, how the why behind that, and where our mindsets are around money and the decisions we make and why it's important to our overall wellness. I think that's brilliant, and that's what resilience is all about. When we know better, we do better. So each of you are playing a role in helping people know better and do
Mhm.
better, and bravo on this Women's Entrepreneurship Day to all of you,
Thank
for sure, for
you.
sure. I just wanted to kind of come around and we did have some questions, and I think we've covered most of them in one way, shape, or form. But I just wanted to talk about kind of playing on what I just said. What do you see now? Because there's been a lot of talk in the media over the last year or so about AI and how AI is going to, remove the need for financial planners and people like ourselves to help people with their financial decision making. And I just wanted to get your take on that whole thing. What are your opinions as people are building financial resilience and confidence? What are your thoughts around your role in helping that in this new AI infused world? And if you want to start with that one, Suzette, because we haven't heard from you in a while.
Okay, so I'm a big fan of AI. I use it every single day in my business. I actually do an internal chuckle when I meet other advisors who say to me, "Oh, I don't believe in this internet stuff," or "Oh, I don't have Instagram," or I don't have a LinkedIn page," or "I have one, I'm not active," or they just look down on you because you're into social media. Well, guess what, sir? Your clients are older. They're transferring all their wealth to our generation. When you know where they are? They are online. And so you have to adapt to what is going on now. You have to be adaptable to technology, because the only way AI is going to replace you as an advisor is because you don't understand it. And your clients don't trust you anymore to make those decisions for you, because they feel like, okay, well, you know what? This guy's not even online. Like, I can't even find him. And then when I call him, I'm getting his assistant and he calls me back in like 2 days. Well, guess what? When that client's son or daughter or grandchild messages me on Facebook or on Instagram or on TikTok, they get an immediate response. Okay, so this is where the older generation needs to work with the new generation of advisors, because we are here and this is the future. I mean, yesterday I saw Kim Kardashian talking to a robot. What do you think's going to happen? AI will only take over your role as an advisor. It's because you're not adaptable and because you're not incorporating these new technologies inside your practice. And it's very important, and it's just reality. So I don't believe that AI is going to take over my practice personally, because my clients, they know I'm a real person. I relate to them. They love my videos, right? So I can speak for myself. And again, if you're an older advisor and you're not digital, I could see AI taking over your block. That's
What are your
what I
thoughts
have
So,
to
on that, Tara? That's, yeah, it's keep up, or what is it? Uh, Evolve or dissolve, I think I heard someone say the other day. So we need to,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
Yeah.
think
it certainly,
that was so well put. I think at the end of the day, and this is kind of on the theme of a lot of things we've discussed today, is that we are not, this isn't a money business, really. It's a people business. You're working with real people with emotions and feelings and complex backgrounds and lives. And no robot's going to replace that. No robot's going to be able to replace the environment of comfort and acceptance that you are going to be able to create as an advisor. Um, that's ultimately your job, is to improve their relationship with money if you can, or at least be a part of that. Um, and AI is never going to be able to replace that. And so if you know that you're providing that in your services, then you have nothing to worry about.
love it.
Absolutely.
How about you, Lauren?
Absolutely.
You want to have the last word on this?
yeah, I don't live in fear of AI. I use it every day as well. It provides me great joy a lot of times.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, and so, I truly believe that, the expression I think you're looking for is adopt or perish.
Okay.
And really that's what it's all about, how can I be expected as a Gen Xer to understand what my millennial and Gen Z clients are dealing with? So I spend a ton of time learning about what it is that my other clientele want, because I recognize that the older generation, they have needs and they're leaving, but that doesn't mean the world ends. There's
Hmm.
still millions of people behind you that need to be looked after, and it's just not going to look the same as you.
Yep.
and that's
And you're
okay.
also competing with these TikTok videos,
Yes,
right? You're competing with an advisor like myself who's online,
speak
who's
the
putting out
language.
content and educating your clients. And they're coming to me and they're saying, hey, I don't really want to work with that guy. It's like, I can't even get a hold of him. I like those videos that you make. And I don't speak product. I never speak product. I speak reality. What if you were
Content.
in this situation? How do you navigate this? Make better decisions, right? Real life scenarios, how to
Hmm.
put a will together, how
Hmm.
to, a power of attorney. A lot of people don't know about power of attorneys and, how important it is into planning your financial future, right? Having cohabitation agreements and
Ay, ay,
marriage
ay.
contracts, especially in today's age, right? So this is how I engage my audience. And then they want more. Okay, well, you want more? Book a consultation and let's talk about it because everybody's needs is different. So I just think when it comes to technology, you have to either adapt or perish, like Lauren
Yep.
says.
Yeah. One of the things that I am kind of pulling out from, and this is kind of a theme that is arising, is about that relationship and that people business, as you said, Tara. For me, when I think about AI, yes, it's a way to reach and engage and interact with my clients in a different way that, than maybe previous generations of advisors have done. But I also see using the tools as a way to free up capacity. So, AI to generate emails and, Facebook posts and Instagram things so that I got more time to
Yeah.
do the things I really love, which is have meaningful conversations with clients and ask those questions and listen, right, Lauren? And acknowledge and create space. So, not just digital tools as a marketing or engagement piece, but digital tools as a freeing up some of the more mundane tasks that we all have to do as running, thriving
Yeah,
practices, so
efficiency,
that we got more
right?
time
Yeah.
to have these conversations, because this is the stuff, we live in very complex times. It's not about a lack of information. It's often about a lack of compassion and time and space and someone that wants to listen and hear you out, and then can back it up with the knowledge and skills that our panelists have here today to be able to solve those problems and put plans in place. So, ladies, thank you so, so much I know we're at time. I really, really appreciated getting to have this conversation. My only regret is that I don't have more time to spend with you and that we couldn't all be in the same room together today, because I have no doubt that your energy would be as good in person as it is online. So thank you for sharing your time, your expertise, your thoughts. I feel like, our clients are in great hands with all of you. And here's to financially confident and resilient and literate Canadians, with the help of each and every one of you as we move forward this Financial Literacy Month.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
Thank
you so much,
you.
everybody.
All right,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye,
I
guys.
will. Bye,
Take
everyone.
care.